30 days of ice baths, freezing cold water every single day. How do I feel about it? Today, I'm gonna break it all down for you. As a professional swimmer, right now, this time of year is the hardest time of the year training-wise for a number of different reasons. The biggest one being after the beginning of January, there are no professional swimming competitions until March. So it's kind of a dry spell where you're just grinding, training. And it's, you know, depending on where you live, it's cold outside. Like, I don't know if you could tell, there is actually snow on the ground. So winter makes it a little bit more difficult just because we don't see the sun as much. Also, 99% of US national team swimmers and really other professional swimmers around the world train with collegiate level programs because there is no professional swimming league, there's no NFL swimming or anything like that. And right now, January is the month where all collegiate teams, at least here stateside, are preparing for their conference championship meets, which start at the beginning of February. So the Big Ten championships, the SEC championships, the Pac-12, all those competitions start in February. There's a men's weekend, there's a women's weekend. So that's like a big taper month for the college team. And then March is the NCAA championships. You got the women's and the men's NCAA championships, which means that is a big taper month for collegiate programs. So if you're a professional swimmer in January, February, and March, you are doing things that are very different training-wise to what the college team that you typically train with most of the year is doing. You're on two different tracks, so you're kind of by yourself. So a lot of times it's just me and Lily or just me and a couple of other pros while the college team is getting to have fun and taper. So anyway, now I thought because this is gonna be probably the hardest training time of the year as we lead into Olympic trials next summer, that I would finally attempt a 30-day cold plunge challenge. And I've done ice baths in the past, and I've had my ice tub, my contrast wellness tub for a little while now that I use fairly regularly, but I thought, okay, let's really do this. So today I'm going to tell you how the last 30 days of taking an ice bath at least once a day has gone. How do I feel about it? How has it affected my training? What am I gonna do moving forward in the future and all that kind of stuff? But first, let me show you this this butterfly set that Lily and I did yesterday. It was rough. We are about to do our first 100 fly fast of the 1,500 yards of pain we're about to endure.
Sandhill.
Oh my God. Ray's already making fun of me. We just started. We're on the last 100 fly and I am gonna send it. Yeah. Prepare for death. All right, Ray, 55 or bust. Here we go. Let's go. That was the full main set right there. Crushed it. 7,000 meters. Need to go get my recovery on. When I first started doing the cold plunge a few months ago, when I first got this thing, it was really hard. Like 45 to 50 degree water for more than 60 plus seconds was horrible, even as someone who has done a lot of ice baths over the course of my swimming career. And then slowly over time, I developed a little bit of a tolerance to it, and I was able to incrementally bring the temperature of the unit down. And now I'm to the point where 38 degree water for 60 to 90 seconds is actually very tolerable and actually like kind of relaxing, which I know sounds like absolutely insane, but let me explain to you how I use this thing and when and how I've been using it for, you know, every single day for the past 30 days. The goal was use the cold tub at least once a day for 30 straight days for a few different reasons. Number one, the mental toughness aspect. It is very difficult getting into cold water by choice every day. It's a challenge. It's a physical challenge once you get in to stay in, just to sit in a very uncomfortable state. So there's the mental aspect to it. There's the reduction of inflammation in the body. So for example, on a Monday when I train really hard, like sometimes Monday is my hardest day, I wake up, I swim for 2 hours, and it's typically a pretty high intensity practice. I go to the gym. It's the hardest lift session of my week. It's a full body lift, 5 sets of 5 on box squats, 5 sets of 3 on, all the way down squats, weighted chin-ups, 100 push-up type complex. So that's just in the morning, and then in the afternoon I do raised breaststroke practice, which is 7,000 yards of mostly breaststroke. So on a day like that, I would get in the cold tub an hour after I left the gym when I get here, and then again at night, which I know sounds crazy, but I actually like it even more at night, which I'll talk about a little bit. Another way that I've used the cold tub that I actually might like the most is true contrast training. So on my rare recovery days, sometimes on a Wednesday or a Thursday, I'll have a day that's strictly a recovery day. So I'll swim here in my home endless pool over there. And what I'll do is I'll start off the workout by getting in the cold tub for 3 to 4 minutes, to the point where I'm like really shivering, like my core temperature really, really drops. And then I go and I get in the pool and I start swimming really easy, and I swim about 1,000 yards really easy. And the pool is 92 degrees, so it's warm. I mean, it's basically a hot tub. And I go back and forth. I go from the cold tub to the pool, and then into the cold tub again, and then in the pool. And here, let me flash up a little workout right there. So like that's what I would do on a Wednesday recovery day. That's like the full recovery thing. And the ice bath is a big component to that. It makes the back and forth. Smarter people can explain the science behind it, but it really makes me feel really, really, like I always feel better after. Early on in my 30 days, there were a couple times when I actually tried the cold plunge before my morning swim, which is insane, I know. But I leave the house here at 5 a.m. to make my 5:45 a.m. swim practice. We hit the water at 5:45 a.m. So there were a couple days, I tried this 3 times in the second week of doing the cold plunge every day, where when I got into the garage, right before I got in the car, I would get in the cold plunge for 60 seconds. And first of all, I love doing it really early in the morning, like first thing in the morning, because it like, A, it kind of jolts you awake. B, it sometimes you're feeling a little stiff and your body just feels like a little sore maybe from the previous day. It numbs the body, so you just immediately feel better. But then you also get that mental clarity, right? The brain produces a ton of dopamine. It just kind of dumps into your brain when you get out of the freezing cold water, and you just feel good, which I like. However, I don't like doing the cold plunge before a morning swim on a day where it's a hard morning swim. So what I mean by that is like when I get to the pool in the morning, when I dive into the cold water at 5:45 a.m., I want that water to feel cold. On the few days where I tried doing the cold plunge and then going to the pool and swimming, I did not like jumping in the water and the pool temperature not feeling very cold. Like I want the pool temperature to feel cold, if that makes sense. So I didn't like that. So I did that a couple times and I was like, okay, I don't like that. I do like doing it, like I said, on my recovery days when I go from the cold to a warm pool, intentionally a warm pool where I'm just swimming easy. So that was a wild experiment. Now, surprisingly, my favorite time to do the ice tub is actually in the evenings before I go to bed. So what happens is I come home from afternoon practice. I get here at like 5:45 p.m., 6 p.m. I eat dinner and have dinner with my kids. I put my kids to bed at about 7 p.m. We play for like an hour when I get home, eat dinner and all that. They're in bed 7:30 p.m. And then right when I put the kids to bed, I come down here and I get in the cold tub, but I only get in for a shorter period of time. So instead of doing 3 or 4 minutes in the cold tub, I'll do like 60 seconds, maybe 90 seconds. And when I get out, I'm cold, but the moment I grab my towel and I dry off, I'm not shivering. And like I said, I've kind of built up the tolerance to that. And what I have found is that it just kind of numbs my whole body. It kind of mellows me out. It doesn't jolt me awake because I've kind of built up that tolerance once again, and I'm not in the tub long enough for my core temperature to really drop, for it to really, really wake me up, that I've found that it's actually made going to sleep easier. Like I feel more relaxed and more mellow, and it's just kind of soothing to, once again, kind of numb the body before I crawl into bed at night. So that's actually my favorite time to do it. Now, if it's a Sunday morning and I'm not swimming on a Sunday, that's a recovery day. It's like a family day. I try to get up in the morning before the kids get up and then I jump in the cold tub, and then I go for a longer plunge. And then I'll go for like 3 to 4 minutes, you know, at 40 degrees, and I'm getting out and I'm like really shaky. And it takes a while for my body temperature to warm back up. And I love that too. For the past 30 days, like I said, at least once a day. I wouldn't say most days or twice a day, a few times a week, twice a day. The twice a days would be the days where I do the heavy training, like the doubles. Like I said, the Monday where I have a swim in the morning, a lift, and then another swim in the afternoon. Or you've seen in some of my vlogs, I've done some distance workouts with Mariah as she prepares to make the Olympics in the open water 10K. If I'm going 7,000 or 8,000 meters long course in the afternoon, when I'm coming home, I'm getting in the ice tub. So how has the cold plunge affected my training and everything over the past 30 days? Like, what would I say is like the screenshot results of the last month? I would say it has 100% improved my ability to train hard at the end of the week. So like my Thursday, Friday, Saturdays are noticeably better when I'm regularly cold plunging early into the week and in the middle of the week. Like I'm feeling better towards the end of the week, like without a doubt. If I could only pick one recovery modality, if that's the right word, modality. So like of all different aspects of recovery, things that I do to improve my recovery, enhance my recovery, right? So obviously stretching and foam rolling, getting massage. I've got a red light therapy pod that I lay in, the cold plunge, the sauna, which I utilize a sauna at my gym as well. If I could only pick one thing, it would probably be this, sheerly because of how good I feel the moment I get out. Like whether it's a short session, like I said, 60 seconds at night just before I go to bed, or it's 3 minutes on a Sunday morning to like start my day, immediately, mentally, I feel way better, and physically, it's a very, very wild experience. If I could only pick one thing, it would absolutely be this. And I really love the Contrast Wellness tub because this thing it's such a small footprint in my garage. Like look at how small this thing is. It barely takes up any space, and it's inflatable, right? So I can move it, I could put it down in my basement, I could put it out on my deck during the summer, like no problem whatsoever. It barely takes up any space, which I really, really like. Comes with a pretty neat, cool little carrying case as well. So the one last thing I'll say is the 30 days, it wasn't easy. Like there absolutely were times when I I don't really want to get, like, I just didn't want to get in the water. Like, there are some days when I come home from afternoon training and I actually look forward to getting into it because I know how good I'm going to feel the moment I get out. Like, literally, the moment you get out, it is euphoric. And that is not an exaggeration. However, there were some days, like, particularly on, like, a Sunday morning or a Wednesday evening where I was like, I have to get in the cold tub today. I haven't got in yet. And I was like, ugh. But without a doubt, 100% of the time, afterwards, I always felt good about it. Like I've never gotten out of it being like, I regret doing that ever. I always feel better. And I think that there's value in that mental hurdle. Like that mental hurdle of forcing yourself to do something, like self-induced suffering safely. I think there's value in that as well. And I have certainly found that. So if you're looking at getting yourself an ice bath, Contrast Wellness is way more affordable than all the other ice tubs that I've seen on the market. Some of them are like dumb expensive, much more affordable, also portable. There's a link in the description below for more details. The next Tier Pro Series event is in Chicago in March. So if you wanna watch some of your favorite Olympians swim live and you're in that area, that is always a fun meet. That's what we're training for right now. Very excited about it. And until then, I've got lots of fun training videos coming soon, so stay tuned for that. If you'd like a personalized video from me to you or someone you know, for whatever reason, I am available on Cameo. Merch is available at CodyMillerSwim.com. We've restocked all the stuff that sold out for Christmas. Thank you all so much. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and until my next video, I will see you all later.